Have you ever wondered why so few saints from Asia are mentioned in Christian conversations, even though the faith has existed there for centuries? You might know about St. Francis Xavier, the European missionary to Asia. But what about the saints who were born in Asia, who gave everything for Christ on their own soil, speaking their native languages, facing fierce opposition, and yet radiating holiness? In today's video, we'll uncover the forgotten stories of faithful heroes from India, China, Japan, and Korea. Men and women whose witness can inspire us in a world that desperately needs courageous faith. Stay until the end, because you'll discover not just their amazing lives, but what their stories mean for you right now. Let's begin our journey through the hidden saints of Asia. Number 1. Saint Devasahay Pilai, India's first lay saint, from Hindu warrior to Catholic martyr. Devasahay Pilai was born in 1712 in Tamil Nadu, India, into a high-caste Hindu family. His name meant servant of God even before his conversion. But no one could have predicted how true that name would become. After working for the royal palace, he encountered a Dutch naval officer who introduced him to the gospel. Pilai was captivated by the message of Christ, especially Jesus' love for the poor and downtrodden. He converted to Catholicism in 1745, taking the name Lazarus. His conversion was seen as a betrayal. Hindu leaders and even royal officials turned against him. Pilai was stripped of his titles, arrested and tortured for 3 years. Despite brutal beatings, exposure to the elements and humiliation, he refused to renounce Christ. On January 14, 1752, he was taken into a forest and shot. He died a martyr's death, his last breath a witness to his unwavering faith. Devasahay was canonized by Pope Francis in 2022, making him India's first lay Catholic saint. His feast day is celebrated on January 14th, Romans 8:35-37. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution? No, in all these things we are more than conquerors. Have you ever been ridiculed or isolated for your beliefs? Devasahay's story reminds us that grace gives us courage to stand firm even when the world turns against us. Number 2. St. Joseph Vaz, Apostle of Sri Lanka and Goa, Evangelist undercover. Joseph Vaz, a 17th century Indian priest from Goa, is called the Apostle of Sri Lanka. During the time of Dutch Calvinist control in Sri Lanka, Catholicism was outlawed. But Vaz disguised himself as a beggar and secretly ministered to Catholics, offering Mass and sacraments at night. He travelled barefoot through dangerous territory, surviving illness, hostility and imprisonment. Vaz is credited with miraculous healings, including ending a drought through prayer. He never sought fame. Instead, he laboured in silence, converting thousands and reviving the faith in an island where Catholicism had nearly died. He died in 1711 and was canonized by Pope Francis in 2015. Matthew 6:6. When you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. In a world obsessed with platforms and public image, Joseph Vaz reminds us that true greatness often happens in secret, in humble obedience to God. Number 3. St. Augustine, Xiao and the Chinese Martyrs. From executioner to evangelist. Xiao was a Chinese soldier tasked with escorting a French missionary to execution. But hearing the priest's words and witnessing his peaceful death moved Xiao deeply. He later asked to be baptized and became a diocesan priest. He was eventually arrested for his own Christian witness and tortured. He died a martyr in 1815. Xiao is one of 120 Chinese martyrs canonized by Pope John Paul II in 2000. These saints include lay people, children, catechists and foreign missionaries, spanning 3 centuries of persecution from the Qing dynasty to the Boxer Rebellion. Among them were St. Lucy Yi Jianmei, a laywoman who taught children about Christ and refused to recant her faith. St. Anna Wang, a 14-year-old girl who died during the Boxer Rebellion because she refused to trample on a crucifix. John 15:20. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. These saints challenge us to ask, what would we sacrifice for the gospel? Number 4. St. Paul Miki and the Martyrs of Japan, crucified for Christ in Nagasaki. Paul Miki, a Jesuit seminarian, was born into a noble Japanese family and educated by missionaries. As Christianity spread through Japan in the 16th century, it was met with suspicion by the ruling powers. In 1597, Paul Miki and 25 others, including laymen, priests and even children, were crucified in Nagasaki. They sang hymns and forgave their executioners as they died. Miki's final words were, "I am Japanese by birth and a Christian by grace. I forgive the emperor and those who have ordered my death." After the martyrdoms, Japan entered a period of brutal suppression of Christianity, forcing thousands of believers underground. For over 250 years, the Kakure Kirishitan, hidden Christians, kept the faith alive in secret until Japan reopened to the West in the 19th century. Matthew 5:10. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Paul Miki's story teaches us to respond to violence with peace and hatred with forgiveness, just as Jesus did. Number 5. The Korean martyrs, saints of a homegrown faith. Korean Christianity began unlike anywhere else. In the 18th century, Korean scholars encountered Catholic books imported from China and converted before ever meeting a priest. This self-taught movement grew so rapidly that when missionaries finally arrived, they found thriving underground Christian communities. St. Andrew Kim Taegon was the first Korean-born Catholic priest. He was ordained in China and smuggled back into Korea to minister in secret. Arrested during a crackdown, he was beheaded in 1846 at age 25. St. Paul Chong Hasang, a lay leader, wrote to the Pope requesting missionaries and urging Rome to strengthen the Korean Church. He too was martyred for the faith. Between 1791 and 1866, over 10,000 Korean Christians were killed for refusing to bow to Confucian ancestral rituals or renounce Jesus Christ. Pope John Paul II canonized 103 of them in 1984 in Seoul. 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. The Korean martyrs show us that Christianity can flourish even without outside help, when believers take responsibility for their own formation and mission. In a world where faith is increasingly challenged, these saints remind us of several vital truths. Faith is not Western, it's universal. These Asian saints prove that Christ speaks every language and enters every culture. Holiness is possible in any situation. Whether you're rich or poor, a priest or layperson, a student or soldier, God can use your life to proclaim his glory. The gospel is worth everything. These men and women gave up status, comfort, and even their lives because they believed Jesus was worth it. What about you? Would you be willing to stand up for your faith in a world that sometimes seems to oppose it? These saints aren't just historical figures. They are our brothers and sisters in Christ, cheering us on from heaven. They show us what it means to be all in for the gospel, to love without compromise, and to trust Jesus even unto death. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us, therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and run with endurance the race that is set before us. If this video opened your eyes to new saints and stories, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below. Which Asian saint inspired you most? Like this video if you were encouraged. Share it with a friend who needs hope today. Subscribe and click the bell so you never miss powerful stories like this one. God bless you, and remember, the same spirit that lived in the saints of Asia lives in you too. Keep your faith strong and your heart focused on him.